Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. We are on to our next episode. Again, we're providing value, bringing in guests that are small business owners, entrepreneurs, those that have had some, trials and tribulations, and we're going to share the story. We're going to talk about a variety of things that I'm hoping that you will implement. If you're watching us live, hashtag live on the replay, on hashtag replay. And a couple of other housekeeping. If you're watching us, please, we love comments. You can drop a favorite emoji if you want to ask questions. If you just want to do a thumbs up every once in a while, that'll be great. And any questions, don't hesitate, drop them in the comments below. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then at the end, don't forget to take a look at the description and see our guest information. Before I get into it, I want to make sure you get involved with Got Backup, get paid to safeguard your precious memories, videos, and digital assets today. It's only under $10 a month. It's an instant worldwide opportunity, has an easy marketing system, and you have a compensation plan. So those that are interested, take a look at it in my description below. Let me bring on my next guest. We're going to have Michael Benson. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, glad to be here, Shawn. Excited to speak to you and your audience today.
I appreciate you taking some time out. And that's what it's all about, man. Just using the time to provide value for those that are out there. Before we get into it, Michael, who are you and what do you do?
Well, the first thing I want to do is apologize to you and your guests because I have been slammed. And I know you sent something, said, hey, can you send a photo? And as you were doing your intro, I realized I never even sent the photo in. And now I'm on your podcast. So maybe I can get some of that stuff to you backwards. But, speaking to and listening to your opening and really understanding who your audience is, what I want to say is I am you and you are me. I've been very driven my entire life. But if you ask me who I am and why I've been driven, I can only go by my personal experience. So I was the youngest baby in the world to have glaucoma surgery. And, I was born in 1961. I know I look great. Thank you very much for a guy my age, right? I always like to say that to break the ice. But, I'm getting older. My eyes are a miracle, right? Being born with glaucoma, they did experimental surgery. I've been out speaking for years. I was on stage at one time with 1,200 people in the audience, and there were some blind people in the audience, and I met this fella. And after speaking, I came down and I was speaking to him. I said, well, what's your eye disease? He said glaucoma. He had been blind his entire life, and he had the same surgery I had a few years after I had it. And it just hit me like how blessed that I have been, that every morning I get to wake up and open my eyes and I still have vision. I have advanced glaucoma, but I have vision in my life, right? So I won't get into all the surgeries and what I see out of one eye and not the other. But that has driven me in the different stages of my life. At 16, they told me by 30 I would be blind. I had both my eyes operated on. Well, at 16 years old, I started drinking every day. It's like tell a 16-year-old there's no cure and you're going blind. And by 21, I got sober, and I've been sober for 40 years. And so two things happened in my life. One, I better make $1 million because who's going to love me if I go blind, and what am I going to do for a living? And then two was there was this overwhelming gratitude that I needed to give back. And so I made travel like real important. I've been, all over, like, hey, if I ever lose my vision, I want to go see this and I want to go see this. So whatever has driven you to be an entrepreneur, that's why I'm telling this story. Like, what is it? Like, I used to put pictures of cars and boats on my refrigerator, like that I wanted. Today, I'm driven for a much different way. I'm more of having a purpose-driven life, mission-based. And in 2014, I started a nonprofit organization. It's called Love Vision. If you can go to lovevision.org, you can see it. We take people going blind on visual wishes. I wonder how I thought about that, right? Again, we don't have the time, but serious impact of me bragging to a guy one time about all the places I went and he should go because he was going blind and he had dark glasses on. He looked at me and said, Michael, I'm out of time and I have no money. And I went to my car and I felt like a heel, because I was bragging about, oh, I've been to Hawaii and I've been here and you got to go ride a camel. And he just listened to me for like 15 minutes and said, I have no money and I'm out of time. And it just like hit me like, I'm so blessed. I got to give back. Right. So in 2014, we started that foundation. We've been very blessed to get, we were filmed on ABC World News, praying for a guy's eyes in the Grand Canyon and Niagara Falls and some different things that we've done. So being mission based, the next thing was like, can I help people that are blind? Most of them are unemployed, on Social Security, 75%. If they get a job, they lose their Social Security. If the job doesn't work out, it takes them a long time to get back on the Social Security. So there's a lot of paralyzed, individuals. And we meet a lot of blind people. We actually started the first blind surfing events in Jersey. We just did our annual Surfing for Vision. And if you're an entrepreneur and you know the Kentucky Fried Chicken story, I was calling insurance companies and they said, you want to do what? Like the beach needed a rider insurance. It was like, no. I must have called 14 insurance companies till I finally got someone to insure like a blind surfing event. But we do that. And so now I've always also been that entrepreneur. Started with Bell Yellow Pages when that was something. And, without going into my background, I've been to China helping companies become ISO certified and a business development guy. And my life has been under two umbrellas, making my money over here, volunteering to first help people get sober and then helping blind people. And of recent, the things that are driving me, I'm like, wow, possibly I can now take what I'm moving on and actually maybe even put some blind people to work. And that's kind of where I am. And I think how you found me now to be one of your guests with something that is an issue that every single one of your listeners should be very concerned with. And so I'm moving in the cybersecurity space. And, as we move on to that, I'll share that. But that's what brought me here. And I don't want to leave your audience and just talk about me quite yet or what I'm doing and what I'm offering. I really touched on a lot of things in your own business. What is that motivation factor? Do you know when it was all about getting the car and the house, the bigger house, and I had a lot more stress in my life. And when I turned that into some of you, depending on your age, you might remember Zig Ziglar. He's passed. He said, if you help if you help others get what they want, you will surely get what you want. You can even do that in a manipulative way, right? But if you truly go out there to empty your cup, your cup seems to overflow. And so if you really are mission based, even in your specific business, the mission to really provide that service, to really make a difference, then it's not sales and it's not commissions and it's not referrals will be off the hook. So
well said, man. I want to make a couple comments that are lovevision.org. Got to check that out. We'll put that in the description. The Surfing for Vision. I love it how you said a lot of people in the sales have that vision boards. They have, the car, the house, the vacations, all that stuff. And I love how you said, as you got older, you reflected. Everyone should take time to reflect on what's going on. So everyone's growing in a different way. So as you get older, like Michael was saying, things change. Your whys change. So that's a powerful thing. And I appreciate you sharing that. All very true stuff. Already we have some golden nuggets that are sporadic throughout this already. So those that are watching, if you're not jotting things down, shame on you. Or you're going to have to replay this again. Because if you're not taking a couple notes, as everybody should, It's important. Now, the helping the blind is fantastic. Getting involved with charity work is, what you our end goal should be anyway. How much money do you really need? So you get to a point that you're comfortable, and then you can help others even more on that gratitude kind of mindset, which I love as well. But now I want to get into this cybersecurity, man. What you were sharing with me on a call a couple weeks ago in reference to this, it's mind-boggling how you're helping small business owners out there in this space.
Yeah. So if you're, unfortunately, if we're going to go to the tree of knowledge, if you and I just want to tell everyone, if you've ever looked at the FedEx logo, and if you don't know this, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to go this, and you're going to go, wow, Michael Benson told me this, right? In between the E and the X, there's a white arrow that points towards the X. Subliminally, they put that in, and it means go FedEx. And a lot of people, if you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. It's almost like staring at one of those things, and you're like, don't you see the picture? And then all of a sudden you turn, you go, oh, now I see it, right? And if you go look at that FedEx arrow and you see between the E and the X, this arrow, and I would hold this up in a seminar and people go, I don't see it. And then I go, here it is right here. They go, oh my gosh. Then as soon as I'd hold up the logo, their eyes go right to the arrow. I'd hold up the logo, their eyes go right to the arrow. I have a guy I did this to, and I said, every time you see a FedEx truck, your eyes are gonna go to the arrow and you're gonna go, Benson. I did this to this guy. He's a friend 10 years ago in Des Moines, Iowa. And at least once a year, I get a phone call from the guy who goes, Benson, and he hangs up. And we got this funny thing going on. But the reason I'm telling you that is if you don't know, you don't know. The awareness, when you become aware of something, it's like buying a Volkswagen and then seeing Volkswagens everywhere you're driving. It is on. They are everywhere. The FBI says that cyber attacks are going to increase on small businesses by over 300% this year. We already know that they have been, that the technology that listens into our phones, you talk about, man, I'd love to go to Tahiti. And then next thing you know, you have ads in your phone to Tahiti. We all know it. We're laughing about it. We're talking about it. We don't even know if it's legal, when Congress is going to stop it. They have all these things, but it's going on. Well, the bad actors out there today, there's an increase of them using that technology. They're listening, and they're also using AI now. And people think, well, who's going to want to ransom me? Ransom is like having termites for 10 years and then the building's falling down. They're already in there. There's all these different type of hacks now, man in the middle. I'll give you an example on why I mentioned FedEx, because I know the logo so well. I ordered some beach towels. I'm down here in Florida. They were being FedExed. I got an email saying from FedEx saying that it was my tracking number. Natural thing for me to get. I looked at it and I noticed there was a space between the E and the X. It wasn't really FedEx. I couldn't believe it. How did they know that I ordered towels for me to click for what? For them to get in my phone? If you're a man, at least on this, at least for me and the friends that I've been talking about, I'm receiving 4 to 5, I'm going to say, let's say one a week on a busy month, 2 a month on a slow month, of beautiful young Chinese girls that are asking me to be their friend on Facebook. I mean, these are oh, I love your posts. And then I look down and I see all men that have friends of mine that have accepted their friendship.
Yep.
There was just a movie that came out, Leave This World Behind. And it was a movie about every device in America going down at the same time. And it is Julia Roberts starred in it, and it reminded me of an earlier time of my life, where we were told back in 1999, I was attending church, And we were told that we should put food, water, medicine, and some people were actually getting ammunition because of Y2K. They believed that every system was going to go down, and what havoc would create on our grid, on our water, on our food, and ultimately it would be neighbor against neighbor, those that were prepared, those that weren't prepared. And in this movie, a neighbor's son, the son gets sick and he goes over to this neighbor, and the neighbor comes out with a shotgun. Now that's 24 years ago, right? In Y2K. Did we send the message the way to take America down is paralyze us? We're so reliant now on all our systems. So one of the things that we've been doing is we have a division called cyberumbrella.org. It's a division of Love Vision. And Cyber Umbrella, through entrepreneurship, we were able to secure a $2 million grant. Our mission is to go out where we consider ourselves a modern day Paul Revere. Instead of yelling the British are coming, we're yelling the cyber attacks are coming. The cyber attacks are coming. And believe me, every single day now I'm saying, hey, United Healthcare just went down on February 22nd. AT&T just had a problem. And so we're looking at it's these other people, but they're going to be heavily going after small businesses. Anyone that they can get so they can go to the next layer to get into consumer data, to get into consumers' emails. Now, I'm very close to someone, and this is what happened. 2 years ago, they were hacked for $10 million, right? And their company denied paying it. All their information went out to the web, the dark web. You see some of these companies like, hey, we're going to give you a LifeLock for a year. That's great. 2 years later, from this that went out to the dark web, people are buying consumer information on the dark web. Someone went into a bank with this fella that we know, his license and their picture on it. They were able to go from the company into a consumer's information, get a copy of his license. I guess they bought it on the dark web. They were able to take a photo and reproduce a license with someone else's photo. Now, why would they go in and open a bank account with someone else's license with their photo? Layer number one, what do you need to go get the title of a home? Or what do you need? What do you need to go get a driver's license? Or first thing you do is like, hey, we need 2 forms of ID. We need your bank account. Then we need this. And then they go get a social security number. And the next thing you know, somebody is wiped out. This is a very, very serious issue. So we were looking into how do we go out there and sound the alarm, and every single small business should be tested. The problem is big government contracts and everybody that's doing cyber, you figure like, hey, I can't afford cybersecurity. So in a relationship that we have, we asked for 5 penetration tests. I was being recruited to get involved with them to do some business development. And I said, before I get involved with you, I have something I like to. I have some people I can put on the phone that are visually impaired. Let me just do a test. And I said, what does it cost for a penetration test? And they said, well, most companies, they won't walk in the door for less than $5,000 and up. I said, well, is there anything less than that? He said, well, if we were to strip this down, we could do 5 computers for $1,000 that we would go in, we would run a penetration test. They would get a full report that they could bring to their IT company. And then that IT company, most of them are not cybersecurity specialists. You have one IT guy that go, I can handle this. And then you got the other IT guy goes, we welcome this. Let's go do business with the cybersecurity company. And what do they have very inexpensively to fix this? And if I'm getting too much in the weeds, they gave me 5 of them. I said, okay, let me go out. So I went out And I wound up offering five free penetration tests to small businesses. One of them was an accountant CPA that I know in New Jersey with 1,000 clients, who is very very due diligent. He had Double Firewall, an IT company, Defender Software, and he says, "Hey, but we have to get tested anyway because the FTC now is requiring any business, that is collecting data needs to do a cyber test and put in a written security plan, and they're going to start fining." He goes, "So I got to do it anyway. I'll do your test." We went in and did a third-party cybersecurity test, and we were able to go in with the technology that's available to the bad actors today and steal his Microsoft token. Gave us the keys to his entire system, and we were able to get consumers' social security numbers. I went to a large dentist in New Jersey that I know. I go back and forth between Jersey and Florida, so I was in Jersey at the time. HIPAA compliant information, same scenario. I went back to the cybersecurity relationship and I said, "Hey, if you're willing to do this," and through going back and forth, we realized 50% of the people that were getting that wound up getting this test, they said, "Do you have a small business solution?" And it was very affordable. It was that what they were offering was what they offer the big government contracts: 24-hour, 7-day a week SOC, Security Operations Center, monitoring their systems. They had, without going into all their programs, whitelisting, education, phishing emails that went down. If someone clicked something, it would isolate the computer, and offered $1 million warranty, and it was low as $50 a computer. And, so this one accountant, he had 12 computers. He's spending $600 a month to have the same type of security as a big government agency that's paying a heck of a lot more. And that's less than someone could pay. Well, that's probably in Jersey, it's $15 an hour. That's what you'd pay someone to be a dishwasher for a week, and now he knows that he's secure. What would it cost, if he winds up getting attacked? So there's no obligation. And what we're doing now is we secured 2,000 pen test grants, our nonprofit. We're now getting on television, radio, podcasts, and we're just sounding the alarm. If you go, we have a code, CyberU23. CyberU23. You cannot go for the grant unless you have a code. And I'm going to give you the code right on this podcast. If you go in and you go to cyberumbrella.org, or you can go to cyberumbrellagrant.org, and that code will go right into the form. cyberumbrellagrant.org, and it'll put CyberU23 right in the form. And you have to be approved, but it's really easy. You just fill out your business information, how many computers you have, what industry you're in, and you can get a third-party, no obligation penetration test and free report that you can bring to your own IT company. But folks, 98% of the pen tests we've done, the businesses are not secure. We're not ready for what's coming, and it's coming. It's certainly going to come between now and November in this election season. Everything we possibly can be thrown at us is getting ready to be thrown at us. So that's, who we are. We're very passionate. Our mission now is, I wasn't able to go in the military because of my glaucoma. I wanted to as a kid, and they wouldn't let me because of my glaucoma. I'm sitting back watching. I know I'm crossing the line here, Shawn. I'm watching people crossing our borders. I'm watching all this stuff, and I'm like, what can I do? Well, this is what I can do. I'm out there trying to secure America. Now I'm in my early 60s, using my abilities. I have a grant to get your business tested with no obligation, and just, it's almost like an AIDS test, though. People don't want to know, because then they might have to do something about it. But, now I'm showing you the arrow. They're coming. You need to get secure. And last year's technology is not going to be able to block what they're doing with AI and everything else that's happening. So,
man,
I threw it all out at you.
Dude, that was fantastic. And those that are watching, some people that are small business owners, you got to go to cyberumbrellogrant.org. Use that code CYBERU23. We'll put all of this in the description. Fascinating stuff, things that it's scary as what's coming. Well, I want to make sure that you take a look at the description, reach out to Michael for any questions about the grant, about how to get involved as well if things are not working the way it should be working for you. And Michael, I want to thank you very much for sharing some massive value today with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Shawn. And anyone who's interested in joining this mission, every mortgage company, every CPA, every auto dealership, they have to get tested based on every coach, based on new FTC safeguard rules. They have to get tested. I just need more mouthpieces to get the word out. I'm working as hard as I can, ringing the bell. I feel like I'm in Times Square saying Jesus is coming, and people are going, where do you want to go for a burger?
Man, appreciate you. I appreciate knowing you, and I appreciate getting connected. And we hope that everyone else has an awesome rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you, guys.